Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Ryan from Ryan's Tech Guide, and I'm here to help you with your tech. So tonight we're going to do something just a little different. We're going to go onto the web and we're going to shop for a computer. Now, the reason why we're doing this is I've been asked a few times in my life of doing this job, can I build a computer for less than $1,000 with really good quality parts like gamer parts built into it? So the question and the answer to that is yes. And what we're going to do in this video is I'm going to go on the web. I'm going to show you a computer that I have come up with that I think will be perfectly fine for the average user. I think it will give them lots of flexibility, lots of future proofing, and basically a very fast system for a low cost considering what you're getting. So with that, let's just get right into it. So what I've done here is I've gone on to the Canada Computer site. Of course, this is Canada Computers, this company I buy all my hardware from. Of course, it's a Canadian channel, so I try to support Canadian companies. So this one here is a system that I've come up with. As I said, we're going to go through each part and I'm going to explain to you why I think it's really good and why it's necessary. And then I'm going to show you the price after. So here's the first part we're looking at. It is the deep cool Matrexx 55. It's a mid tower, which is basically ATX. That's the name it's been given. That's the style. This computer case, it's a case, but it's well built. I've used this in another build before. It has a fan in the back, which is great for cooling and necessary if you can get that. It has a nice glass panel. Some people are not too fussy for that, but a lot of cases now have come with that. So for the price you're paying, it's just nice to maybe have, a nice system to look at. So it has lots of connections in the front, of course. Lots of different ways to connect your USBs, USB-C and all that. And it's just a nice design. I liked using it. So that's the reason why. And it's $69.99. Very good case. So I recommend this. Next thing we're going to talk about is the processor. So the CPU, or Central Processing Unit, that is what's going to run this computer. You have Intel and AMD, of course. AMD is what I choose. It's what runs all my systems, and it's run most of my systems over the years. The Ryzen series, of course, as I mentioned in previous videos, is second to none. The Ryzen 5 5600G. Now, G stands for graphics, and that's how we're going to keep the system under $1,000 for the average user, is that this has a video card built into it. And what that does is it will take a little bit of the RAM or the memory that it has and use it to help run with the processor. And of course, it's 6-core, 12-thread. What that means, it's got 6 cores, so more than enough horsepower for what people need. It has a clock speed of 3.9 gigahertz, which is really, really quick. Anybody using this system will notice it's really fast. Also has a boost of 4.4, which is also even more helpful. Also, it has the graphics built on, as it says, and it also comes with a cooler, which is great because, this is a lower powered CPU because it's got 65 watts. The Wraith Stealth cooler I've used them many times. They are perfectly fine for what you need. They're well built and they do the job what you need as well. And at $189.99 on sale for $349.99, excellent price. It gets the job done. It'll do really well. And the price is really low. So the next thing we're going to talk about, motherboard. Now, motherboard, of course, is the main piece. This runs everything. This houses all the connections where you plug your USB, your network card, sounds or speakers, and also on the board itself, you can have all the kinds of RAM that it can support up to. You put your video cards if you choose to go with the gaming route eventually. That's what this computer can do. And also it has different little ports like the NVMe, which we'll talk about shortly. That's for a hard drive. So this particular one, I've used this now in 2 builds, 1 for my own and 2 for someone else. And I have to tell you, the GIGABYTE board, this X570, which is the style, that's the levels that it's at now in terms of technology. Very, very fast. The computer works amazing. Mine, I love it. This board is what I recommend. Now, I was an Asus guy for 20 years. I still am an Asus guy. I would still recommend their company any day. However, this GIGABYTE board, this gaming board, or Aorus Elite, you know what? I think it's worth every penny you pay. Absolutely. This is the one I would recommend you get for the price. $219. On sale for $300, worth it. Now, what we're going to talk about next is Corsair RAM. It's random access memory. It's the Vengenace kind, which is the name they give it. Memory kit of 16 gig. And what it does is DDR4, and the speed is 3600 megahertz. Now, 3600 megahertz plenty fast. The average user won't notice that. They could have slower RAM and it'll act just as quick. But for me, whenever I'm building machines for people that I suggest, I always go with the highest I can go that the CPU can support without burning the budget. And at $72.99 for RAM, more than enough RAM to start. If you want to add RAM later, you can. You always try to match up as much as possible. If you wanted to add extra RAM, then you basically would just find the next price. But for this build, I kept it under $80. It means not too much savings here, but it's really good. Next, we're going to talk about is the hard drive. So this is the newer style drives called NVMe, as I said earlier. This is an excellent hard drive. I've used this on some builds, especially like one of my own for read 5,000, for write 4,000 for write. I mean, this computer will fly. Whenever you use it, it will just work. I use this one on a build, as I said, and the speed to install Windows was 3 minutes. That's it. I have never seen that before. At $69.99, it's a 500 gig. It's not a terabyte. I mean, you can always get the terabyte or more. And what's nice about this computer, you can add drives as well, different styles. You can do this. It has an extra port on the motherboard, or you can add the normal style SSDs, or you can add an external to the USB ports that are on the back. But for this, you put your Windows C drive. This is your C drive, or where your Windows is. Your programs are located. This is the one I would recommend. An excellent price. Now, power supply. Next one, Corsair, the RMX series 750. This one here, more than sufficient for what people need. It's a modular case. It's got the, just before I mention that, it's got the 80 plus gold, which is perfectly fine. It's got the modular style. What that means is that you can put as many wires as you need, and you don't have this big giant amount of wire that's in you, like the old systems of 10, 15 years ago. And all it is just wire, which makes cable management and cooling not that great. Well, you have to zip tie it to death, basically, to make it look proper. Well, anyway, this one, you don't have to do that. You can do a little, but you can make sure that the power supply uses only what it needs. So $139, Corsair's pretty much gold standard. There's other ones out there, Thermaltake and Tech. I mean, there's even MSI makes one. This one here, and this sale actually ends in, it looks like 3 hours. I mean, there are other ones we can always go through later in another video. This one here, excellent price. Even at $169, it's still really good. The next one we're going to talk about is a CD-ROM. Now, why I put a CD-ROM in is simple. It's because of the next tab I have. But I put this here because it's an external one. You can use it with a laptop. You can use it with a desktop if you need to. The reason why is because the next tab has to do with Windows 11. But $39.99, you buy this, and it'll allow dual duty, which is good. That's what you want. I mean, it's not a big savings. $6 is not a lot, but it's worth it. Which leads us to the next one. Microsoft 11, my Windows 11. Now, Windows 11 is a 64-bit, but as you can see, it's the DVD OEM version. That's the reason why I put the DVD-ROM in there. Now, they have the USB one. I couldn't find it on this site. I tried, and I could not find this particular one on the USB install, which is what people would normally do today. But I chose this because at $129, it's a good sale. It'll last however long Windows 11 will, and it's very available. So I would suggest doing this. Now, that's it for the computer. What I did is I went ahead of time and I actually added everything up. And currently, this computer sits at $932.92. And that is, I'll bring up another calculator in a minute, $932.92 Canadian. Now, that is the Canadian price. I mean, I will get you an American price. I will put it in the description below, of course. But if you want to go a little step further, I've added 2 more pieces as a bonus. This is the wireless keyboard and mouse. If you don't have this and a monitor to make the whole system complete, here's one here. It's $59.99. It's a straightforward one. I've used this keyboard before. It's got a nice soft touch to it. It has a good feel for the mouse. Very simple one, MK320. It's pretty much one of the more common ones you see that people purchase. And at $59.99, it's worth every penny, in my opinion. You don't have to go super expensive. If you do, that's great. There's many other choices out there. But for this particular build, we're going to stick with this. Now, the other one I'm going to show you is the monitor. Now, this is the 23.8 inch LED. It has the IPS, which I will link my monitor video in there, give you an idea more about what that kind of monitor is. It has 5 milliseconds, and the price was $239.99, all the way down now to $162.99. This is an excellent price for the monitor you're getting. LG is an excellent brand. It's been around a very, very long time. And as I've mentioned before, quality and the colors are just phenomenal. So this is a monitor I would recommend for anyone. And essentially what I would do and what I'm going to do, I'm going to add $162.99 and $39.99. So that is the price before tax in Canadian. So $1135.90. If you times that by your tax, this is the price. You'll have $1283.56. That's with tax, all included, the whole system. Now I know it's a little over 1,000, but that's kind of what the video is all about, is to keep it around 1,000. You may go over a little bit because of course that tax does that to you. This computer in particular is an excellent, excellent build. It will last many years for anyone. You have a lot of upgradability, as I said before. You can add all kinds of RAM. You can add a video card if you want. You can outfit this to be a gaming machine. Flexibility all over the place. And I know a lot of people use laptops and that, but there's something to be said if you're going to do some real hardcore work, or you really want like a desktop style, which has been coming back lately. This computer I recommend for anyone. So that should do it. I want to thank everyone for watching. I hope everyone found some value with this video. If you like what I'm doing with my content, please hit like or subscribe. Also, if you want to find out about more videos I do, please make sure you use the notification bell on the right. And I want to thank everyone again for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Good night.